Hi, welcome to Gemini Star Spiritual Wellness. Thank you for joining me today. I'm excited that you're here with me for this video. So in today's video, we're doing our weekly tarot card reading for the week of March 15th through the 21st, 2026 for all the air signs. So that would be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Making sure I have the right date. And I do. So here we go. Let's go and see what's going on for all us air signs for this upcoming week. Already getting into the middle of March, barreling down to spring, which I'm so happy about. So let's see what's coming in the energy for this week. So as always, take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't, because for some people it's going to resonate and for some people it won't. And if you're not yet a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button so that you get future videos I put out. And please hit that like button so this will go out to other air signs that need to see the message and the information. Because when you hit the like button, it sends it out to more people across YouTube. So let's see what's going on. What is the energy for the air signs for the week of February, March 15th through 21st, 2026? What is the energy for the air signs? One more shuffle. All right, so I said February, so maybe February is relevant to you in some way. And my nose is already itching, which is interesting. So let's see what's going on here. All right, we've got the Eight of Cups, the Hierophant. We got the Four of Swords, the Empress. Move this down a little bit. Okay, we got the Five of Cups. Ooh, okay. We got the Nine of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands. So it looks like air signs coming into this week, we are missing information. So there's information going around that we don't know about. It's like it's hidden information. Because if you look, you've got three swords here on the wall, and there's this one sword underneath in the tomb that you can't see. So there's some hidden knowledge or information that we're not sure about. Something's missing coming into this week. Now, in the current, and that's in the past energy. So it's been missing. That's in the past energy. But coming in the current energy, we are walking away from something. And one thing that's always interesting to me about this card is you see he's got like his little cloak on. And he's walking away from these cups, but he's not even looking at them. Like he's not even looking over his shoulder at them. Like he's done. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm finished. I'm done with this. So you're walking away from something and you're done. Like you're ready to be done. And I see a card that we're going to get to that's basically signifies that as well. But you're done. You're like, I'm out of here. I'm done. And what they're telling me is see the moon in here. You know, we've had the lunar eclipse that just happened on March 3rd. And so we're still in the energy of that eclipse energy. You know, they say up to 6 months, but definitely it's only been a couple weeks. So I feel like, okay, what they're telling me is that the eclipse energy kind of did something to kind of move things along. So it's like something happened in the eclipse energy to kind of help you walk away from this. I don't know what that is, but it's like things kind of fell into place over this, with the eclipse energies kind of helping things fall into place for you to walk away from it. And I'm hearing what you're walking away from could very well be a marriage for some of you or a long-term commitment of some type, a long-term relationship. But okay, they're also saying it could also be a family member. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a marriage, but it's like a long-term committed relationship, whether it's like, long-term relationship with family members or like a marriage, but it's something like that. Where you're really connected to this person, either bound to them legally, like in a marriage, or bound to them through, blood, DNA as family members. But you're walking away from it, from whatever this is. And you're in a good place, air signs. We're in a good place. We're kind of in we're in Empress, like we have Empress energy around us. So we're being very fruitful, we're being very nurturing, caring. But it's like I feel, all right, what they're saying is it's like we're that way about ourselves. So it's like you're kind of taking care of yourself. And I'm hearing that in the past, you had a tendency not to do that and to put other people ahead of you and to like have other people, like take care of everybody else, but not take care of your needs. That was kind of what was going on in the past. And you've reached a point where now you're taking care of yourself. You're looking out for yourself. But you're still being very nurturing and caring and loving. But a lot of that you're bringing into yourself, like nurturing yourself, caring for yourself, loving yourself. And I'm also hearing that you're walking away from this situation because it was no longer in alignment with where you're going. Like in the past, and this could be true with family members too. Like in the past, people were taking advantage of you and your good nature. And it's like they expected you to like give and not get anything in return and be okay with that. And you did, like you put up with it for a long, long time. But now it's like you're tired of putting up with it. You're tired of putting up with it. And you're ready. It's like you're ready to take care of yourself. You're ready to kind of put yourself first for a while, to kind of heal from it and take care of yourself, whether it's taking care of your health, taking care of your mental health, taking care of your spiritual health, or all three. It's like you're just doing things to really nurture yourself right now and take care of yourself. And you're kind of in this Empress energy of like, you don't care what they think. The people you're walking away from, if they don't like it, they can go pound salt. You're kind of like, I don't care. It's time for me to take care of myself. And you really don't care if they're upset about it. You're walking away. Because if you notice, like I said, he's not even looking over his shoulder. So he doesn't care. It's like you're just done with it. You're finished with it. You're ready to walk away. But, the nice thing is, like, the Empress is the accumulation of all 4 of the queens in the tarot, so she's got all those attributes all in one, and that's kind of like I keep feeling like you're taking care of yourself, but you're not being nasty about it. You're still being loving, compassionate to other people, but you're having boundaries. They're telling me boundaries, and I'm seeing, like, a boundary, like a wall. So you're having boundaries and you're not letting people overstep your boundaries anymore, because that's what was happening in the past. Like you might have had some boundaries in the past, but because they were related to you or because, it was a spouse or a long-term committed partner, you were kind of letting them just step all over you, and just kind of take advantage of you. And you're like, no more of that. Now you're going to enforce those boundaries. You're not going to allow that to happen anymore. You're not going to do that anymore. And this is what I have for us air signs in the current energy. That's what's going on right now. So you're walking away over here. You got the Empress atmosphere going on. This is where you're at. And it's, you're leaving something behind that's like, family or, like I said, marriage, long term committed partner. So coming into the near future, there's a lot of loss and regret. Now, of course, you might be anxious to leave this situation behind, but there's still a sense of grief that you have to go through, a sense of loss and regret that you're going to feel, especially if you've been in this situation for a long time. If you've been, in a marriage for many, many decades, maybe, it's like it's still hard to leave it, even if it's a toxic situation or it's not a good situation. It's like, it's still going to be hard to leave. You're still going to have to go through that grieving process. And if it's, relatives of yours, if it's family members, same thing, you might, have to let that go, and that some relationships with your family members, and that could be very stressful too and give you a lot of grief and loss. And it's kind of like, I'm hearing it's not like you're angry so much as just like a sadness that things didn't work out. It's a sadness that you have to let this person out of your life. It's a sadness that, you have to change, like you have to move on from this situation, like a sadness that things didn't work out. Because if you look at him in this card, he's looking at these right here in front of him, these three, that are falled over, these 3 cups. But there's some cups behind him here that aren't, but he's not focused on them. He's focused on these. So you still have good relationships, right? You still have good relationships. You still have people in your life that are going to be an asset to you, that are going to be good, but you're kind of mourning what you lost, that with the other situations. But they keep stressing that it's like you just outgrew these situations. Like, you are no longer the person you were back then when they were taking advantage of you. And the boundaries aren't going to go over well because they got used to you being like small, you know what I mean? And just kind of doing everything for them, not asking anything in return. Like, they got used to the way things were, and it liked them because it benefited them. And here you come with boundaries, and you're not dealing with it anymore and putting up with it anymore. And you're going to put yourself first. And of course, you're going to get backlash. It's not going to go over well. And you're just going to have to leave these situations behind, because it's like they're no longer in alignment with who you are now, because you're now in this Empress energy. So it's like you're no longer that person that you used to be in the past. So I am hearing that remember in the beginning, I said that in the past, there's some information missing, knowledge or missing information. I do feel like you're going to hear this. It's like you're going to find out what this is. And it's also going to help bring in this feeling of sadness, because maybe you find something out about your partner or family members, like things they did or said or things that happened that you didn't know about. And you find out about it. And it's really like, makes you sad, because it brings more into, okay, I'm hearing it's going to reaffirm your decision to leave them behind and to, like, to end those relationships, because you're going to find something out or hear something about them, that's going to reaffirm, okay, I did make the right choice, if you were having any doubts. But it is going to bring sadness, because it's just going to make you feel like, wow, I didn't realize that person was capable of doing that, or they were capable of, it's going to be very disappointing for you, is what I'm hearing. Whatever it is that you're going to hear, that you're going to find out. But this interesting is these two advice cards I have for us air signs. So this first one is a 9 of Pentacles. And so this is kind of where we are. We're in that sovereign, independent energy, and it goes along with this Empress. We're in this independent, sovereign energy, but we're doing good for ourselves. We got plenty of Pentacles. We're taking care of ourselves. Our needs are met. We're thriving, and you also have that paired up with this Empress energy. So these two together, we're doing really good for ourselves. But we are definitely ending these cycles with these people. And you can see, like, he's pushing against those 10 wands, and he's putting all he has into it, and he's just overburdened and exhausted and tired and overwhelmed, and he's ready for this situation to be over. So yes, he is definitely, we're definitely ending the cycle with these people that we're letting go of. And like I said, it's all an alignment issue. Like, they are just not in energetic alignment with you anymore. And I keep hearing, like, you've outgrown them. You've outgrown them. That's what I keep hearing. And it's like they're showing spring. Like, I'm seeing daffodils and tulips coming up, and it's like, and I'm hearing it's like the changes of spring, a new beginning with spring. So it's like you're ready to leave this behind and have a new beginning for yourself. But it's been hard. I mean, I feel like it's been a long kind of slog for you, as far as, this whole experience. And you've just reached a point where you're at the end of your rope and you're just done. But it's been like a long journey. It's been hard and difficult for you. But you are definitely closing out that cycle. So I'm hearing to pull 2 more cards. So let's see. What more advice do you have for air signs for the week of March 15th through 21st, 2026? 2 cards, please. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel okay. So these are the cards that came out. The first one is the not 9, 6 of Pentacles. And it's definitely like this person in the past that you're walking away from, like, they were definitely breadcrumbing you. Like, they were just not, like, it was not reciprocal. Like, you were giving, 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 and you weren't getting what you needed back. And they weren't a good partner. Like, they weren't doing things in return for you, and they just expected you to give. And they were like breadcrumbing you. Like, just giving you kind of enough attention and enough just to keep you around, but it wasn't really enough overall, it wasn't like fulfilling you. This relationship wasn't fulfilling because you were giving too much. And it was that intermediate hope. Like they would take from you to the point where you felt like you had enough, right? But then they would kind of throw you some crumbs of attention and affection and whatever just to keep you, and then your brain starts to think, oh, they're paying attention to me, they're doing stuff with me, just enough to kind of keep you around. And then it goes back to the cycle of them taking again, right? And it was never balanced. See how he's got those scales right there? Like it was never balanced. This relationship was never balanced. And it's like you were always like kind of begging for attention, begging for affection, from this person. Um, but the good news is we've got the sun here, this little boy on here. He's all happy. So this is one of the best cards in the deck. And it's going along like where you're at now. So you're ending this cycle of dealing with this person or people, and you're coming into the sun. So you're coming into much happier times, much lighter energy, much better environment. So I'm here, these to me, like these are all together. You got the sun here, it's like the sun, you're in all of these kind of energies at the same time in a way, but the sun's coming up. So it's no longer going to be the burden. You're not going to be dealing with this anymore. This low vibrational stuff, this breadcrumbing stuff and all of that nonsense. Like you're not going to be dealing with that anymore. And the sun's coming out for you. So it's like what's coming in for you is going to be so much better. And it's not just a relationship. Like you might come into another relationship down the road that's going to be way better than what you experienced with the breadcrumber. But I feel like it's just you in general. Like the sun's going to be shining on you as a person, individual, and you're going to be taking care of yourself and things are going to be going really good in your life for you, whether it's at your career and everything, your health. But I'm definitely getting this sense of taking care of yourself, focused on yourself while you're getting out of this situation with this person. And then, it's like they're telling me the universe is shining down on you. Like the universe will be shining down on you. It's like you're going to get out of this situation and then it's kind of like, the clouds are going to part and the sun's going to come in, and it's going to be so much better than what you were experiencing before when you were dealing with this situation. But you're going to be in a much better place. So I guess my advice for you is if, you're going through this and this resonates with you, yes, you're going to be feeling some grief and sadness in the because this is near future. So this hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. But allow yourself to feel that. But you're really in a good place because you're going to take care of yourself. You're going to watch over, take care of yourself and do things for yourself to help heal. But allow yourself time to heal and have that grief and sadness because, of course, you're going to feel that. And that's only natural. And you need to feel that. You really shouldn't suppress those feelings. You need to let them out and feel those emotions. But just remember, around the corner, you've got the sun here coming your way. And things are going to be so much better with, moving forward. So just keep that in mind. When you're having a hard moment, just remember those three cards, Empress, Nine of Pentacles, and Sun. And it's like you're going to be doing much better down the road, like once you get out of this. Because that's what they keep saying is like once you get out of this situation with this person, it's going to get much better for you. So that's what I have for us for the week of the 15th through 21st of March. I hope you enjoyed it, air signs, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.